Hi everyone, welcome back to my tutorial. This week I will do the veining and the blue-yellow undertone. First, when I have begun my reborning journey, I use paint to do the veining, but I dislike the way they look because the air dry paint dry faster along the edge than in the center, so the line look weird a little bit. I dislike the look of it, so I have changed my technique to use now a pastel pen. You can use pen pastel also. I use this for the blue undertones. You can also use paint, there's no problem there, but be aware the paint, it's a bit difficult to get a good result for the veining. I highly suggest you find yourself a pastel pencil. They are not very expensive, they last very long. I use the same one must have been about 3 or 4 years now that I use the same. Any brand, it's not a problem. Find a blue that you like, and I suggest that you try on a test part before going on your kit. But it's very easy to use. The vein, you can look at picture of babies if you wish. Online there are also some kind of chart where the vein are. You can find this easily on Google Image. But when you begin, just do where you think it may look good, and that's okay for a beginner. When you are more advanced, you can try to replicate exactly what you can see on real babies. It's fun to make vein, so just have fun when you do it. Don't stress too much about this. Also with the pastel, it's a good thing you can erase them with water if you are not happy with the result. I almost always begin with the head. Most of the time I will do some veining. I start on the corner of the eye and I make like a Y shape with some branch. You must make wiggly line, not straight line. Veins are not straight, they are very wiggly, so just be aware. Make them very lightly wiggly like that. They look like tree roots if you want. So I do some veining in the corner of the eyes and the temple. I do the same the other side. You can put some on the forehead if you wish to. And on the head, even if you will make even if you will root or paint hair, that's a good thing to have some vein on the head. Just have fun with it. I hope you see it correctly. It's not very dark. Then I took a sponge, a used sponge, and I just rub what I just draw. And rub it very, very well. You don't want the vein to look too dark, especially on the face. It's better to make them very pale and go over later on the reborning process if you wish to see them more. But the first layer of vein, there's no need for them to be extremely dark and visible. It's very important to rub the pastel. If you do not, it will let some powder, loose powder, on the piece, and the paint will not stick on it. Then I do the wrist. You can look at your own to see the pattern. Each person have a different pattern, so just look at your own wrist. Try to replicate a bit the pattern that you see. No need to be perfect. Then you can go ahead and make a few on the arm itself. And on the end, the same thing. You can look at your own end and try to replicate it. No need to make too much vein either. Unless it's a really young kid, preemie baby. You may be able to see the vein more because the skin is very thin, but on older babies you see them about the same as you see your own. Then again with the other arm, they do not need to be exactly the same on each arm. Just some little line here and there. Rub them a lot. Don't be afraid, it will stain the vinyl, so you won't lose them all. If you have trouble with the pen not marking enough, you can put a layer of primer on your kit. It will help. For the feet, I like to start on the sole and make my way up there. The thigh, about the same thing. Just some line here and there. Rub them very well. Like I said, if you're not sure about the placement, just look at yourself. Look if you have young children at home, look at them. You can look online at picture. It will guide you. There's vein on top of the foot, like on the end, so I like to make some. Nothing fancy. So that's it for the vein. I can do them on my open eye kit if you wish to see. It's the same thing, starting on the corner of the eye. I go on the temple. Same thing the other side. There's no need to push too hard on the pencil. It's pastel, so it's easy to get the color on the kit. It's not like a Prismacolor pencil. It's easier. I have bought eyeshadow eyeliner, a blue eyeliner I wanted to try. I'm not sure if it will give me a nice result. I may just try it now. It's a coal. Not sure what it will look like. We'll pick a test piece. As you can see, I have tested a lot of things on this leg. Try maybe under the feet or over the feet. Not sure. Seem to be very dark. And if I seems to work well. Maybe less pointy. Looks good. That looks good. That can be an option if you don't find a pastel pencil. Sometimes we just have to go and try things. That's how we learn new technique. Some technique may work for us, some others may not. But if we never try anything, we can't improve, we can't find our own way to do things. So don't be afraid to try new things. I will do the limb of my open eye baby, just to be at the same place for both. Like you see, I don't put too much effort. They will be simple reborn. I just want to show beginners, so I try to make it as easy as I can. Because usually when you are experienced, you do not really need a tutorial. Sometimes it's good to follow some other tutorial, just to, like I said before, just to learn new technique. Maybe see how others do things. I hope the light is okay, because I have the sun directly in my face, so I have trouble to see how it looks on the camera. So now we have done the vein. For the blue undertones, as for the vein, you have several options. You can do it with paint. You can use the same mix that you have used to make your wash, but just add a little bit more paint on the mix, because you want the undertones to pop up more. So you can use that. Usually when I do it with paint, I use a mix less dilute, the same mix I will use for my mottling later on. So you can totally do it with that. Some people, like myself, I have done it very long time before, can use makeup, some type of makeup. Mine is very old. It's a coastal scents. They do not make it anymore. As you can see, my blue is completely gone. You need a makeup that is not shining. Need something very matte. If you have that, you can try that. Or you can go with pastel, pan pastel. Pan pastel is a bit tricky to use because try to find my my brush, because it's very highly pigmented, so you have to be very careful. I use the blue. This one is this one is ultramarine blue. Ultramarine blue, and I use the colorless blender to mix with. That gives me a blue that is a bit less pigmented, so it's easier a bit to work. You really don't need a lot, just a little bit. It's very pigmented, as you can see. So mix the colorless blender. I go about equal part of both. Mix it. I use the cap. You can use anything you would like. It's a bit scary the first time, but if you are not sure about the technique, take test piece and try on the test piece. that's the difference I will show you. That's the difference with the colorless blender. You will have to rub a lot. Rub, rub, and rub. Then with a U sponge, go and rub it a lot. Very, very, very much. You don't want any loose powder. If you think you have removed most of it, you can add another layer. But usually it's not a problem. So with a little bit of powder on your brush. As for the vein, the undertone, you can look online and find there's a chart with the undertones. Some artist have made one a few years ago. You can go on the Bountiful Baby forum. You can find it there. But basically, the blue is for the thin part of the skin. You will not put blue on the cheek, for example. You want to put it where it's very thin. Usually, if you are a little bit observant, you can look at your kit and find where there's and then I'm not sure how to say it, but you will see where the skin is thinner. You will put some over the eyebrows, and on the temple. You want to go make some little round with your brush. You rub it in there. Then you take a sponge and you remove any excess. If you think you have gone too blue, too dark, just add some water to your sponge. It will remove a lot of the pastel. But you want to rub a lot. Don't want any powder. You basically want to stain your kit. So you go ahead and you rub. So you will get something a bit like that. I'm not sure if you see it. It's very hard. My room is not the best for videos. Not sure if you can see. It's very faint now over the brow and on the temple. You will do the same on the other side. So you can apply gently the powder and rub after, and don't forget to go a little round with your brush. I go just in front of the ears. Some kits are very easy to see where to put the blue. Some other kits are very difficult, like this one. Over the eyes there's not a lot of place to put blue, so it very depend on the kit. Go ahead and you rub and rub and rub, and don't worry Don't worry, you will not erase the veining under because it already stained the vinyl. If you are worried, you can put a layer of sealant or primer over before doing the blue undertones, but you will see the vein will still appear under. Now I will put a little bit in the corner of the eyes and over the nose. You can put some under the eyes if you wish to. I like to do it. I like putting color. I'm not a eye color reborn artist like some are, but I like to see some variation on the skin. I find this is important to make the reborn look alive. If you do not do that, the skin will appear flat. It will not look as realistic. We'll put some each side of the nose, just in the crease right there. If your kit have a good crease there, it's not an obligation to put the blue because you will use your crease color. And the fun part with the pastel is that you can do all your kit then rub after if you want. Don't be worried to let it sit a little bit, unlike the paint. If you prefer to use paint, it's exactly the same thing. You will put the blue at the same place. You will go with your brush. Then with your sponge you will remove the excess. Not rub, but just dab the excess paint. But it's about the same process. I like to do some here each side of the chin, sometime under, and just under the ears, where the skin is very, very thin there. Just don't forget to rub after. You will have a lot of problem if you do not. Some people don't like to use pastel or any powder because sometimes the paint can lift. It can happen. Usually it's when you didn't remove the excess well enough, and if you don't seal well enough after, sometimes the paint can lift, but it's easy to avoid that just with a good rubbing. And you can also pick your mop brush and go over, remove all powder anywhere, and apply now for the limb. Usually we put some blue in the palm of the hand, not on the thick part, but just in the center where the skin is very, very, very thin, about this space. no need to put too much. You don't want the blue end. You just want a bit of dimension. You can put some on the wrist if you feel like, on the corner inside the elbow, corner here. I like to put some under the arm. And that's about that for the blue on the arm. It's more important to use the mop brush after, because of the crease. It's hard to remove excess with the sponge in the crease, so with the brush you can remove any loose powder. Same with the other end. Put in the middle of the end. Little bit on the wrist. Inside the elbow. And under the arm. Be careful, you do want something very subtle. You do not want a patch of blue. With the pastel it's easy, but with the paint you don't want a big patch. You want it to blend. You want the side to blend with the rest. Unless you are making some alternative, a clown or something like that, you do want something subtle and well blended. Less is better than too much often. Then the legs. I will put some blue under the feet, just in the middle there. And around the little bone on the side of the ankle, I like to put a bit there. The other side too. You can put some on the side of the feet if you wish. Then under the knee. And under the calf, you say, I think, in English. The round part, the muscle here, you can put some blue under. Sometime, if you feel like it, you have a kit that has very defined muscle, you can put some blue in the each side of the muscle. The thinner part is hard to explain, but you can do that if you feel like it. It's not an obligation if you are scared to mess up, but it's really hard to mess up. To be honest, it will disappear a lot under multiple layers of paint. So mistake will not be very noticeable. It's just something that gives an impression of life, but if you put blue at some place that maybe you shouldn't have, it's not really a big mistake. You will, when the baby is complete, you will barely notice it. So don't worry too much with that at first. When you will gain more experience, you will avoid those type of mistake. But even then, if it's something that you like to put a lot of color, just do it. It's your creation, so don't worry too much about that. It's maybe more important if you want to go in the hyper realistic reborn type. But most artists, we do that just for fun, to express ourselves. Sometimes we do baby just for us, so we do them like we like them. So don't stress too much about that. Just have fun creating something. The biggest mistake that you can make while painting a reborn is not blending enough and having pooling of paint. Those are maybe more difficult to hide. But with a bit of practice, you will achieve something good. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, and you will not be able to get something perfect at the first try. They are very, very, very rare, the artists who can make a perfectly good reborn at the first try. Most of us, we just try and learn, make mistake. So I can do the other head just to show you on a different baby. The limbs I will not do on camera because it's exactly the same. But if you want to see on another kit that is different a little bit, but it's the same method, just a little bit of blue over the eyebrow, on the temple, the side of the face. Under the neck, the ear. Same. As you can see, I rub my brush a lot. It helps to blend and to stain. The nose bridge, under the eye a little bit, not too much, this one. There's not a lot of space to put blue in the eyes. Sometimes it's easier to put blue in the corner. This one is not very pronounced, so you may get the impression that I'm very not precise, but like I said, with a lot of layer, the mottling, creasing, etc. that we will do later, there's no need to panic if something is not exactly placed where it should be. Some people are very how do we say that, perfectionist. I'm not. I'm not very perfectionist, so for me, if it's look good, that's okay. That's enough for me. You can see now the face have more color. Lastly, before I end the video, I will show you the yellow undertone. You can do the same thing, use pen pastel. You can use paint. I would suggest that you use paint because there's not a lot of yellow. There are a very small place that we put yellow. So no need to buy something just for that. I will use my makeup powder eyeshadow. I have a nice yellow. It's like a yellow ochre. No need to make a mix just for that. Just use your washes, your yellow washes. You can put a little bit on the container, on the palette, add a touch of paint on it. That will do. So I use my powder. I will put yellow on the top of the eyebrow. The yellow, it's like the contrary of the blue. You want to put it where the skin is very thin, but where it's elevated on top of the nose. Can put some on top of the cheek. It's where the light is on the face. I put some over the little bridge here, there, on top of the chin, not under, but just on top. You can put some on the ears. I like to put some yellow on the ears, where is the cartilage. And the same as with the blue, we will rub and remove any excess. And you have to be gentle with the yellow because it stains a lot. If you think you have put too much, go with the water, a wet sponge, to remove any excess. That's why I don't use a pan pastel for the yellow. The blue stain enough, the yellow is worst. So just with the makeup or with paint, that's enough. The face already have much more color. I don't put yellow on the limb. You could if you wish to. If I put some, I put on top of the toes. Same with the finger. Can put some on top of the knee and on the little bone each side of the feet. But that's the only place I would put yellow. You can try, you can decide to put yellow elsewhere if you wish to. It may become your style. For me, it's not really a necessity. Unless, like I said, I make something very, very, very realistic. Try to add more details, but just for a simple reborn, there's no need really. It's hard to notice on the limb. If I was to do the end, the arms would be the same, and maybe a little bit on the elbow and on the knuckle, but that's it for me for the yellow. So that's it with the undertones. As you could have seen, I use a makeup brush for the powder. I bought them some time ago on Wish, very cheap. That's okay, they do the job very well. Can use any paintbrush, preferably a very soft paintbrush, because you will have to rub a lot. Don't want to scratch the paint under, so very, very soft paintbrush. But makeup brush are the best, I think, for this kind of technique. We could have done some blushing too, but I will do that at the end. I find it easier to do it as the last step, because if I do it first, I have to redo it at the end. Either way, it's not. It's just more trouble than not. But you could do it at this step too. I don't use powder for the blush because I put blush on hand and feet, so I don't want the risk to the paint lift. And before we finish the video, just add a little thing important. You will need to seal the kit before continuing. You can theoretically, in theory, you can use paint to seal. If you do a few layers of wash, it can seal the paint, but I prefer to use a sealer. I use the Reborn FX sealer. You can use your varnish, or you can use your primer. You can use the medium. Golden medium is a good primer, so it seals too. But I very enjoy this product. If you buy kit from McPherson, go ahead, purchase the sealer and the primer. This one. Purchase those, and I also like their varnish. Dry ultra matte. I so buy this. So for the final touch, you go ahead and just pounce over all the pastel with the sealer. No need to do all the kit and every crease, so I just go over with my sponge, because I just put pastel on top. So everywhere you have put veining and pastel undertone. If you have done your veining with paint, no need to seal, but with pastel it's very important. I like the sealant also because it gives me a real nice skin texture. It's not rough, but it looks great, it looks natural. So when it's dry you can continue to paint. I will do it on all my limbs. So that's it for today. I will see you next week with the mottling part, and after that we will do the creasing part. Those are the most important step in the processes. After that we'll just be adding some colors and some details like the brushing and the nails and lips, but the most important part are the mottling and creases. That's what gives the kit his life. So I will see you for that part. Hope that you are having a great day, and see you later. Goodbye.